This week on the show, we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and it's been forever since we did an episode, but you know what? That's kind of the requirement, the norm at this point. So yeah, welcome to Blockbusted. So Hitchcock, we've been trying to start this episode for the past 20 minutes or so, and I think I've said "so Hitchcock" about 10 times or so thus far. Yeah, because it's just wired into my brain.
There's not enough time. There's always gotta be so Hitchcock. Hitchcock.
Yeah, because we're unoriginal that way.
Yeah.
Dude, this podcast has gone from like, you know what I just realized? Okay, I just realized this when I was sitting down to start this episode. I'm turning 17 on Monday. That's a pretty big deal, I think.
Oh, frick.
Yeah. Means I'm a year away from adulthood, baby. Or adulthood. But I realized that we started this podcast when I was 14 years old. And when you were 14 years old. Which means, like,
oh, man.
That's a 3-year, if you do math and you use numbers, that's a 3-year, gap thing. You know, it's I think they call it a difference or like a sum or something. It's a 3-year difference. Yeah. It's a pretty big deal, right?
3 years. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
And what have we amounted to? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
We should calculate how many hours we've wasted.
I did calculate it one time. It was like... We've spent more than 3 days of just sitting in closets and recording podcasts.
You didn't count all the times we screwed up, right?
All the times we screwed up, too. Yeah, the deleted timeline episodes. I'm telling you. Man.
Oh, geez.
But, dude, summer is almost here. This is my last week of school coming up, or of most of my school. My math class still goes on a little bit. And so... I figure we're going to try to get back on track, right? We're going to try to do an episode every week this summer. Yes? Yeah? Yeah?
Like that's going to happen.
Gotta love that enthusiasm. But hey, I'm so dedicated to this podcast that I just bought tickets for Wonder Woman yesterday.
Oh.
I'm even thinking if we didn't do this podcast enough, if I didn't have a YouTube channel where I'll probably be reviewing it later at some point, I don't think I would go see it. I honestly don't. Most of the movies that I see and review on my show, I would see anyway, and I would watch them and enjoy them or whatever. But I don't know. I really don't know if I would see Wonder Woman.
Literally, seeing Guardians last night, they showed the trailer, and they're still showing us new action. I'm like, we've seen a shot from every action sequence of this movie. We've seen way too much. It's already ridiculous. It's like, ugh.
But at the same time,
so ridiculous.
It kind of feels like we've seen the same stuff in every trailer. I feel like they're showing us everything, but everything is nothing. And so I don't know. But I still think that it's so unambitious. And so, it looks just like a generic origin story that I think it will be fine.
Generic.
Because, their ambitions aren't that high. So, how hard could it be to get this right? If they can't get this right, this is the easiest thing ever. A simple origin story. If they can't do that right, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. So, I think it's going to be fine. I think it will. But I'm not that interested. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess we were somewhat hyped when they first dropped that trailer.
Were we?
Yeah, we were.
I feel like,
gosh, look at these colors. It looks beautiful. It's going to be great, guys.
I feel like me and you have become Logan and Charles Xavier in Logan. I feel like we started out, and the first few episodes of the first year of episodes of this podcast were the X-Men years, right? We were popping. We were ready to rumble. We were optimistic, young and beautiful, but now the world has changed, Charles, and we are we're just demented. You have dementia and you can't remember anything. I just murder people who try to steal my car tires. It's that kind of dynamic,
Geez.
But so Hitchcock, both of us saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 the other night. I saw it. I saw a double feature on Thursday night. Yeah. And I've been told that you saw it last night, but we haven't talked about you seeing it.
No.
And you actually told me that you didn't see it last night. I think you tried to trick me, and I believed you. So I'm honestly unclear as to if any of us have seen it at all.
No, what? I did go see it last night. It was a good, jolly old time.
Wasn't it just?
But yeah, then I decided that, you know what, Houston, he's just a big nerd, you know. I'm just gonna shove it in his face and just make him all worried and anxious.
Yeah.
So I told you I hadn't seen. You know, I was planning on not telling you till we recorded an episode, and then during the episode say, yeah, I did see it, and just start talking about it.
That would have been amazing.
But then my mom's like, no, don't do that. It's so mean. I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll tell her.
Oh, man. Well, see, when you said that yesterday, you said, I think I'm not going to be able to see it, but let's do an episode anyway. So that must have been your plan at that point.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I was
think
about to say
that when I was driving home.
If you didn't see it, we weren't going to do an episode. So your plan would have failed, Hitchcock. I would have said we should wait until you saw it.
No, we would have done an episode.
No.
Because it's been like a bloody 3 weeks.
It has, though.
Gosh.
Oh, gosh. Dude, although I went back and listened to the episode that we did when you were here a few weeks ago, where we talked about the Fate of the Furious.
Wow, so self-centered.
Yeah, well, actually, I have a funny story about this. What happened was my dad was listening to the basically for some reason, right? I edited that episode on his laptop. I remember.
Yeah, the one reason was because we were at the lake house and sitting in a McDonald's for 3 hours.
Right. Yeah, because we were that dedicated.
Yeah.
But so that episode was still on his laptop. So I was watching Apple TV the other day. I was just, watching it. The Apple TV.
I mean, just that opening screen. It's just beautiful, you know?
And so I was using the Apple TV remote. And suddenly I pressed play, and it played our episode on my dad's laptop because he was on it in the room. The Apple TV remote works on laptops, apparently. But so it played on the laptop, and the first thing out of the gate is me saying, "So Hitchcock, it's been so long since we've done a freaking episode." And my dad was like, "Houston, you need to stop saying freaking. Like, it's not a bad word, but you're just using it as a substitute for bad words. You say it too much, Houston. You need to stop." And so I said, "Dad, I really don't say it that much." And he was like, "Oh yeah, well, let's listen to this episode, right?" And so he just continued to play the episode. And I was like, "Oh no, I hope I don't say it that much in this episode."
Shoot.
But then, to our amazement, to our surprise, that was the only time I said it in the episode.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, "Ha! I beat you, father. I beat you at your own game." That's the amazing friendship that my father and I have. Yes.
So you and your dad just sat there for an hour listening to our episode. That's like...
Yeah, we were doing it. Well, we were doing other stuff in the room, but like he just played it and he was like, "All right, I'm going to be listening for freakins." And I was like, "Dad, it's not even a swear word. Can you there are so many people, I'm the only person on social media who does not swear out of like 5 million people. I'm the only one on the entire internet who does not use swear words. That's a fact. Yep. Provable fact.
That's a hardcore fact.
But he's still like, "You need to stop saying freaking, Houston." But, so yeah, we listened to it, and turns out I did not say freaking that much, and
I think
my point was proved.
You've said it like 5 times already, though. So.
Yeah, but so that's why I listened to the episode again. Long story short, long story long.
Long story long. Because you basically took up... How long was that? Oh my gosh, that was like 12 minutes.
Oh, jeez. All right. So, Hitchcock.
All right, so this news we got this week, it's pretty big.
Oh, okay.
Wrecked, kiddo.
Yeah.
Wrecked.
Was there any news this week? I can't remember. This is so...
You mean, was there any news the past 3 weeks? Because we're so dedicated to this dumb podcast.
Yeah. Marvel said that they're going to be crossing over the Netflix or Marvel TV shows and the movies at some point in the future, right? Which isn't that big of a thing because they said it's still like a very vague. He's like, it's going to happen eventually, someday, right?
Eventually,
but it's still something because he used to say we're not going to do it. So, it's a change at least, right?
Infinity Gauntlet, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that new Dunkirk trailer?
I did. That
pretty
was
good.
Preview Guardians, right?
It didn't show before my Guardians
It showed
screening,
before mine.
Okay, all right.
I love Dunkirk, man. I love it already. It's amazing, you know.
Yeah. When does it come out again?
Nolan.
Is it August? I feel like
What?
it's August. August feels like a Dunkirk month.
It kind of does.
It comes out July
somewhere around
21st. Because screw me.
I mean,
right.
you're only, 10 days off?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not bad.
Let's see.
Dunkirk looks great. I love how there's, like, not a whole lot of well-known actors in it, you know. Christopher
Yeah,
Nolan.
although they do have Tom Hardy, who's pretty great.
Who's he?
He's the dude in...
He's one of the pilots, right?
Mad Max and The
yeah,
Revenant.
I know who he is, but who is he in the movie? Is he a pilot?
Yeah, he's one of the pilots, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Okay, you know who Tom Hardy is then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Who doesn't know who Tom Hardy is?
Did you see the Kingsman sequel trailer?
Oh, yeah, I did. That was before Guardians, too.
Yeah, mine too. That was, that looks really good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I was, like, as far as an action movie goes, it looks really well edited and well shot and just... It's a nicely executed trailer. Really nice. So
it is.
I'm kind of hyped for that.
My friend's a huge Frank Sinatra fan, and they had a Frank Sinatra song playing over that trailer. So
yeah.
He was all pumped and hyped for it.
Let's see. Is there anything else big? Guardians is making a ton of money already. It made $56 million on its opening Friday, yesterday, which is huge. Like, if I remember correctly, I think the first film opened with either 65 million or 80 something million. I think it was 80 something million.
No, so, that's a big difference.
Yeah. But so 56 in one day is a ton. Like it's, you know, open if that were other films opening weekends, that would be amazing. So, there you go.
Yeah.
But I think that's basically it as far as news. Blade Runner is getting a trailer on Monday.
Yeah, Blade Runner. Logan's getting its black and white release.
Oh yes. Oh yes. That's gonna be hype. I may go see that in the theater. I don't know if I have time. Yeah.
He's got time for anything.
I'm so busy with school right now, dude. Like, I got an extension on my math test because I've got so many other school projects going on. I got an extension on my math test, and it's still, like, I may have to turn it in late. So,
it's frickin' Doctor Who.
We'll get to that in Pick of the Week. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I used to try to drink this water, like, silently. I used to be like, I'm gonna do this stealthily, but now I'm just like, yeah. You gotta stay hydrated, man. You're supposed to pass out. Okay, so Drew Hitchcock, what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? And we're doing full spoilers, people. That is, I'm saying it now. Yeah.
What did I think of it? What did I think of this movie that I think I saw? As far as I remember, I saw it. I think I liked it better than the first one.
Really? Yeah?
I think I did.
I
just throw that out there right away. Shada bang. I think I liked it better.
When I got out of the film, I said it wasn't nearly as good as the first one. But as I've kind of sat on it for the past couple days, I've literally been sitting on the film this entire time like a goose with her eggs. It's grown on me quite a bit, and I do think it's at least on par with the first film, maybe better. I can't make a decision until I see it again. But yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean that might be just because it's fresher in my mind, right? I haven't seen the first Guardians for a few months now. I mean,
well, so I saw the double feature, so I saw it before, and
so you're back to back.
Man, it's just
what a bang!
It's so good, man. Like sometimes I forget how good it is. Like it's just it's really well paced. It's really well written. And it hits all the beats that a good blockbuster film should. Like all the dramatic sort of narrative beats. And they do such a good job of building up those characters without any pre-existing movies. And the world building's great, and the sets are great, and the effects are great. And it's so good, you know? But this film is really good as well. So, yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I agree. I want to say I did like it better. Just as... I mean, as far as, like, the visuals and, like, the more deeper character development with some of the characters, is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And I really just, I'll still have to think about it more, see it again, see the first one again, to really know for sure. But, like, as of now, I think I liked it better.
Right.
It's just, maybe it's because it's fresher in my mind, but...
I do feel like, I feel like it's the Empire Strikes Back of the series, to use a cliche term. But, like, it there are people who love New Hope more than Empire Strikes Back, and I think it'll be the same way with this. And it definitely takes some inspiration from Empire Strikes Back to begin with as well. Like, it's got the same sort of, some similar ideas, obviously father and son stuff. Obviously, the main characters are split up for most of the movie and kind of reunite at the end. You've also got kind of the more exploration of their relationships with each other and stuff. And then some sort of B-plot different things, like with the Ravagers, is kind of reminds me of, like, Lando and all that. Plus, there's an asteroid field chase, right?
Yeah, there is.
So,
cool.
yeah, I really loved that it took a lot of inspiration from Empire Strikes Back. Not in a rip-off or even an homage way. Just in a sort of, it's the middle movie, the darker one, and it, explores the characters a lot more, which I loved.
It does it well, too. It does it really well.
I thought they did such a good job of, except maybe with a couple, like, I felt like Drax wasn't really, he didn't really have any dilemma or anything, although I loved him in the movie. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was the funniest character in the movie, actually. But other than him, I thought most of the characters had a ton of depth in this. Like,
they did, definitely.
So much more than the characters in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with that, like, we got Yondu, which he was by far the standout for me in this movie.
Yeah.
He was, I loved him so much more than in the first one. And so cool to see that character development through him. Star-Lord, we get backstory with his father. Yeah. And, which is great. Ego, he was great to see. He was
Marvel finally did a good villain, right?
Yeah, fantastic villain. Loved him. And then also the Nebula and Gamora. I thought that was really, really cool how that was done with the sisters and Nebula. Yeah. How she felt, and it was just great.
In a way, this movie is more family than Fast and Furious. Oh, it's so family, it's family, man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Gamora and Nebula's.
Gamora does say, like, she says, what does she say? She says, I thought you already found your family. That's like totally.
I like that line.
Furious.
Yeah,
that's total Fast and Furious line.
Right.
Like, you could take that out of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, but I did think like much of the theme of this movie was the idea that, like, family goes beyond just blood, for sure. Yeah. And I enjoyed Nebula and Gamora's sort of relationship and their dynamic with each other and their fights, and it was really heartwarming at the end, their sort of reconciliation, but not complete reconciliation, which I liked. It didn't quite tie up. It was just, it will tie up eventually. But also, Nebula, man.
God, fantastic character. Oh my god.
Yeah, she deserves her own movie. That's what they say. Dude, Nebula, why? Well, honestly, like, I really want to like that character, but every time she's on screen, Karen Gillan, who plays her, she played a character named Amy in Doctor Who. Karen Gillan, like, just goes.
Oh, great! Now we're gonna have Doctor Who references every time.
Yeah, get used to it. Karen Gillan always is like, I hate everybody, and I'm mad, and I'm right? It's like, it's almost obnoxious, So I feel like, and in the first movie, I thought the same thing with her. Like, most of Guardians 1 is great, but every time she's on screen, I just get annoyed, right? But that said, I really did still like her relationship with Gamora, and I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I did think she was better in this one than in the first one.
Yeah, definitely. Sure, I always remember the scene in the first one where the spaceships are attacking whatever their ship is called, the something destroyer probably. Yeah, and she goes, she leaves the room. She's like, we gotta attack them. She's like, get out of my way! And then she, like, gets out of the... She leaves the door.
Them away.
Like, it's so obnoxious, over the top. But, it's still... I guess it matches kind of a cheesy alien stuff in this universe, so whatever.
You know what that reminds me of in this one is those obnoxious gold pilots.
Right. Remember when the gold pilot, the ship goes down, she goes, no! She shakes the thing. So, man.
They were, let's just talk about them for a second. They were they served their purpose in the beginning of the movie. That was great. Right. You know, they're working for them, they pay them, and then they're after them.
Right.
But then they just kept showing up, and I'm like, gee,
why?
It's like,
right.
I mean, you were good the first part.
I mean,
they should have just dropped you. And
I thought they were a very intriguing and really, really interestingly sort of built up race and idea. Like, their planet was super cool. They looked pretty good, the gold stuff. And then the idea that, you know,
#spray
they're flying these ships remotely.
Yeah,
and,
that's cool.
And it's like a video game for them and stuff. That's so cool. That's so inventive and fun.
Literal video game music.
Right,
it had 80s arcade music in the background.
But,
so
yeah,
weird.
that was super cool. And then also the idea that Rocket says that they genetically modify their people. Basically, they abort the babies that have defects or anything. So it's kind of this horrifying, right? Thing. And so that was really cool. And I thought they were kind of cool at the beginning, but they were completely unnecessary to the plot at the end. Other than just to make it feel bigger in scope, right? To have ships flying around everywhere, because you just have to have that in the final battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They were silly too.
They were very B-movie.
It was like, what? This doesn't really fit, you know?
Yeah.
First part it fit, you know, with you got little Rocket winking or whatever, and they're all in there. I mean, that was great, yeah. But then it just got super silly, where I almost got tired of them. So
yeah. Well, and again, I think they were just there, honestly, so that we know who they are for the third one, because obviously from that end credit scene, they're going to be the villains in the third one somehow, you know, with Adam Warlock and all that. So that is, I tweeted out, I said something along the lines of, this movie is good because it doesn't have any commercials for Infinity War or any other movies, really. It's just its own thing. Except that, I think. I think really that they were mostly just in the movie to make it seem bigger and to advertise the next one, right? Sure. To set it up, anyway. Although, I did notice one detail, which was that the bomb that they plant on Ego's... the floating brain in the middle of Ego's planet, because it's a literal brain. But the bomb that they plant on it, Rocket makes out of the batteries that he steals from them. So at least that's a nice little payoff.
That's good.
So that's pretty good. But speaking of Rocket, I guess we're talking about characters right now.
Okay, let's do it.
I thought his dynamic with Yondu was fantastic.
That's fantastic. I loved it.
Really good.
Loved it. You know, it's kind of little him, Yondu and Groot had a little side journey they went on. You know? Yeah. And it's just so fun to see. You know, they worked so well together, you know, throwing insults back at each other, but in the end, really loving each other, you know.
Well, and again, because they're the same person, and Yondu understands him. Yeah. And I thought Rocket has some of the most depth of any of the characters in this movie, and the movie even ends on a shot of him, which I thought was interesting. Because he's got this whole sort of complex where he's like the funny guy, the cocky guy, and he just tries to sort of be that risque, you know, class clown, I guess, and, you know, kind of be the cool Han Solo character, but he's also extremely self-conscious deep down.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
The fact that he's a raccoon, crazy animal thing, and also the fact that, you know, he's mean to everybody, and maybe he... I know people like that who are sort of mean to everybody, but they don't really want to be mean to everybody. It's just they sort of come across that way. So I thought it was a really kind of well fleshed out character in this.
And him, Yondu, they were probably two of my favorite characters in this film. You know, not in the first one, but in this one, that development between them was fantastic. I loved it so much, and
I loved that they split Quill and Rocket apart at the beginning. Kind of bickering and stuff, so that then they could unite at the end. And then I love the little payoff at the end where Rocket says they came back from him, appreciated him, even though he just yelled and was mean to everybody and stole batteries that he didn't need. And Peter's like, well, of course, or whatever, you know. So that was pretty heartfelt. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Groot, what did you think of Baby Groot?
He was, I mean, he served his purpose, just the cute aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Just little fun, little tiny baby Groot. I mean, nothing much to him. Baby Groot. I mean, he had that. I mean, that opening scene with him was great, where he's dancing.
Yeah. Although
like
still not close to the opening scene of Guardians. I don't think the opening credits of that are way better. But yeah, I was simultaneously, I thought he was kind of irritating, but at the same time,
how dare you?
Yeah,
insult the baby Groot.
At the same time, I also thought they did a good job of using restraint. Like, I thought I thought he was gonna be way more irritating than he was. Yeah, definitely. And he really wasn't. So that was a relief.
And the leading up to this film,
right?
Definitely felt like that. Like he's like, oh my gosh, the Senate Guardians. But yeah, I mean, he was not overplayed, not underplayed in the movie. He's just Baby Groot. I mean, how much can you do with a twig?
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, and I guess I feel like he's the least fleshed out of the characters, obviously, but that's because he's a baby. Like, you can't really flesh him out.
Groot. I am Groot, you know?
Right.
And he did have some great scenes, like that scene at the end when Rocket's leaving Yondu. He's like, he says, "I'm Groot," and Rocket says, "Welcome to the freaking
Guardians of the Galaxy."
I mean, that was great. You know, I love that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he served his purpose. He was fine. So
that the scene where he keeps retrieving the wrong object, really got on my nerves a little bit.
Did it?
It went on for way too long. I
feel like it was that long.
Because he every single time they show him going back to get it and stuff, like. You could have sped it up a lot in editing.
They don't show him getting the toe.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was best left unexplained. But yeah.
Carrying on from that scene, like, right after that, when Yondu gets his arrow, like, boy.
Dude, yeah,
dude. He freaking sends it
he slaughters everyone.
Heart. I'm like, this is... Like, is this are we still in the Marvel movie? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, that was... Like, for Marvel, that was pretty violent, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. You know, I think the whole time I was thinking this, and Chance said it in his review on Letterboxd, this really is James Gunn's movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's not really Marvel, you know? I mean, it is, but Marvel doesn't have tight reins. It feels
less like a product, you know? Age of Ultron was such a freaking product. Like, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
It was like a... wrapped up in plastic Easter bunny gives it to you in your Easter basket product. But this and the funny thing was, going in, I thought this was going to be such a product. Like, I was like, Baby Groot, they're going to market me that. They're going to, they're going to, you know.
Undo the Mantis, you know, it's all going to be there.
They're going to do stuff where, like, they go back to the first movie and they do things that you love. You love the Guardians of the Galaxy, so here's all that stuff.
Like, another thing, you love the Milano. Everyone loves the Milano spaceship, right? They wrecked that thing in the first scene. They wrecked that thing,
don't they? Know? Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. And they just leave it at that. You don't see, like, oh, here's the Milano again. You know, it's great. And
that's
James
so
Gunn,
true.
You can totally see he had such control over this, and he saw a vision, he just went for it, you know, and it worked. You know,
and there are a lot of choices in here, like you said, like the fact that Yondu slaughters like an entire spaceship.
Yeah, and in slow motion too. Like, see the arrow come out the front of the heart.
Man.
Yeah. I love it.
And there are lots of other things I feel that are a little bit darker than the other things. So like the dude, that planet that Yondu is on at the beginning. So Blade Runner-esque to begin with, like the colors and everything, the neon casino stuff, and the snow and all that. That was amazing. But that's they have
another thing. You don't
robot prostitutes on that planet, right?
You don't put that in a Marvel movie. But this is like James Gunn's movie, right?
Yeah.
This is his Guardians, right? Which I loved. You know, I loved that brainchild. You know, and that planet scene was great. That developed his character even more.
We see Howard the Duck. There, hanging out Howard. With some women.
You see the dog, right?
Oh yeah, Cosmo.
In that scene, but
and
that leads us to
Stallone.
Mr. Stallone.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
he was
pretty cool. I wish that we did get more of him. You know, I felt like it could be fleshed out a little bit more.
The stuff that he was in though was so good, and I just love Stallone and everything.
Can you hate him? You know?
Yeah.
Is it possible? So. Yeah, he was a great part.
The bit where he's like kicking Yondu out of the Ravager stuff.
Oh, yeah,
because he dealt kids to Ego and all that. Like you really feel for Yondu in that moment.
You do.
And
You really
it's
do.
like kind of getting like kicked out of your friend group or something, you know. And it builds him up. It definitely builds him up as a character for the end of the movie and for that payoff. So that was a good sort of dramatic setup there.
Yeah,
and
the Ravengers coming back at the end was great. Emotional,
right?
Part, you know,
dude,
love that.
This is honestly like Marvel. I've said this for a while. Like Marvel definitely can make us laugh. And they can definitely make us go, "Whoa, dude!" Right?
That was awesome. Yeah.
But up until now, they haven't really been able to make us cry yet.
Yeah.
And the closest they came to that thus far, I think, was the Ancient One's death.
Quicksilver's death.
Yeah, Quicksilver's death, definitely. I wept. The Ancient One's death in Doctor Strange, for me, I thought was pretty well done. I loved her standing, watching the slow motion, watching the world slow motion, you know, the raindrops and holding his hand and stuff. But still, didn't make me cry at all. You know, it was just pretty sad. This is the first Marvel movie that has made me tear up. Like, man.
It was great. Which I think is partly, like, Yondu, I mean, he dies at the end, and they develop his character so perfectly in this movie that you, like, if he died at the end of the first one, you'd be like, yeah, whatever, we don't really care, you know? But, in this movie, they've developed his character so perfectly, and that makes you feel so much more at the end. You know, like, I love the bit where, you know, the whole Star-Lord's trying to find if this is really his dad, you know, Ego, this and that. And then he figures out Ego's, like, he doesn't want Ego to be his dad. And he realizes that Yondu is his dad, you know?
Yeah, he has the flashback to Yondu teaching him how to use the gun and flying with Rocket on the jetpacks. And
and what does Yondu say? He's like, that dude might be your father, but he ain't your daddy.
But he ain't your daddy, right?
Oh, I literally,
that was the moment when I cried.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so good. Because then you realize, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this dude, Yondu, he raised Peter, right?
Right.
And it was just perfect. I love it.
You know, they do a good job, too, because he's not like some sort of perfect angel hero or anything. You know, he wasn't the perfect father. And even he says that. He says, I'm sorry I didn't do a better job, you know, as a father. But he still was there for Peter, and he still cared about him, and he loved him, and he ended up sacrificing his life for him.
Oh, I love it.
I thought that was just really great, as well as the bit where he says, "You said you were going to eat me." And he was like, that was being funny. Not to me.
Oh, that was good.
It's really good.
I mean, it was just, I loved it. And that again plays in, like, when Yondu's telling him he's going to eat him, right? That's, like, plays in with the little, little character development with him and Rocket, you know? About them all being all hot shots and mean, because... You know, it's kind of what they feel, and it's only what they know how to do, you know? Yeah. That was done perfectly, and so... Well,
in this movie, I'm watching them back to back. This movie takes place 2 months after the first one, and they flow together really well.
Do that.
Like, there are even some jokes in this one that kind of pay off jokes in the first one, the bit where Groot retrieves the guy's eye, right?
Yeah,
which was a joke in the first movie.
Yeah.
There are several little things in that sort of improve and sort of add to the jokes in the first movie, which is fun. Also, this is completely off topic, like just changing gears here. Did you notice like how inventive and just fun all of Rocket's technology was in this, right?
Definitely.
Like the different gadgets he had and stuff. So inventive. The laser balls that were on the side of a ship and stuff that he would position with the joystick and all that. That's so fun.
I loved it.
So good.
Yeah, he was great. He had some great jokes, like when he's making fun of Taserface. Right. He stopped laughing. You know, that was perfect. Yeah. Or when,
not to mention, like, apparently in this universe, like, there are gadgets that are able to materialize out of, like, the spacesuits can materialize on their backs, and the one thing I noticed was that Rocket he's like basically using a hose to like spray the metal back together on the Milano to fix it, right? That was interesting. And then Gamora has like the sword that is nothing, and then it extends and becomes materializes.
Little pocket sword.
Yeah,
that was definitely cool gadgets in this universe, without a doubt.
Yeah,
more expansion on that, so that was fun.
So what did you think of Ego? and Peter and all that.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I absolutely loved it. I loved how it was very misleading, you know? You thought, like, oh, here's Ego. You think maybe they're going to team up, right? Him and father and son, they're going to defeat these gold people or whatever, or some bigger enemy's going to rise. And they're like, nope, this dude's a villain, you know? And they freaking, Gamora and Nebula find the bones of all the kids.
He went through a lot of kids, didn't he? Like, man, dude.
Like, I mean, I guess that's what you get if you live all eternity. But, like, then that also plays in, like, man, this is dark for a Marvel movie. You know? So, I mean, I loved it. I loved how his villain was. I loved his motivation, you know? How he thought he needed a purpose, you know? And this and
the whole thing where he uses the song about the sea, and the sea calls me back and stuff. How he couldn't get attached to Meredith Quill or whatever because the sea called him back.
He reveals that he put the tumor in Peter's head, in Peter's mom. I'm like,
dude,
gee whiz!
That bit, like, I loved his reaction. It wasn't like, what? It was like, he says, it was a shame I had to put that tumor in her head. And Peter doesn't even question. He just goes,
he just pulls out his gun. It just shreds the
Just
dude.
Kill him, right?
I loved it. It. You know, that again fleshes out Peter's character because he still cares so much about his mom, right?
Right, and then
fantastic.
You shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman.
Yeah,
dude. When he said that, I was like, yeah, that's right, kill him, Peter. You go, boy.
and then he turns into Pac-Man, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, it was great. You know, it had some
Get ready for an 8-foot statue of Pac-Man.
Yes, it had some great jokes, you know, and they were. I feel like the jokes were for the most part timed perfectly. You know, like there weren't any that like broke the emotional moments. You know,
there were a few. I thought,
a few here and there, but for the most part, I felt like it was very well balanced.
I have heard a lot of people saying like there were way too many jokes and they broke the tension or something. I disagree. I think most of them were pretty restrained.
Really well.
But there were a few, like for instance, I remember specifically, like when Ego's giving his whole plan and it's all like dark and stuff, and he's like, it's all, you know, this is the purpose and stuff, and Quill's like in his eyes and stuff. Then we cut to Rocket and Yondu in the Snapchat filter dimension. Where like their eyes are huge and they're like,
they're going through all the clicks.
Clicks. And then they see Stan Lee and stuff. Like, really? You're gonna cut to that, and then they cut back to Ego. Like, really? You know?
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
But still, those were pretty small in number.
Yeah. But yeah,
and
Ego
we'll get to the Stan Lee stuff later.
Yeah, Ego, still on the topic of Ego, the visuals for his planet were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they did some pullback shots and showed the face. It didn't look silly or anything weird. It looked genuinely really well done, you know, and the visuals were amazing throughout the whole film, which
the only thing that I disliked, well, first of all, yes, and Marvel fixed their color grading in this film as well. The color grading in this movie is, for the most part, really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's shot by a new guy as well, I think, so that's part of it. But the one thing that I didn't like as far as Ego's design, I thought the stuff where he's like forming himself into a human is cool. I thought the stuff with like the planet having a face was cool. But I didn't like the like tendrils, right? Like the weird glow, the like tendrils, like tentacles or whatever, like the weird glowy tentacles that he's wrapping up Peter in, and like he's wrapping up the Guardians in and stuff like that. If anything, that just reminded me of the Bulgullet scene in Rogue One.
Oh jeez,
right?
Oh jeez, that's terrible. I mean, my mind didn't go that far, but okay. I mean, it was.
But I just felt like, why? I guess they're supposed to seem like organic matter or something, but like,
it's
I just didn't feel like they felt like they matched really the tone of like what a planet would fight with. Like, wouldn't he fight with like, I don't know, earth or rocks or something? Like that would make more sense. I felt like, I don't know. It was odd, and also the floating brain was kind of dumb.
Yeah. I was like, you really gonna make this a literal human brain?
Right.
Come on. You mean to tell me that he's been a brain floating in space this whole time?
Like, it would have made more sense for it to be like a soul, like some sort of like glowing like ball of light, like soul or something, right? You know? I don't know.
Some molecule, I don't know.
Right, exactly.
That opening, like, when did they do it? When was it? Oh yeah, they do it, like, after the very opening scene to transition to the Guardians protecting the batteries. They zoom in real close on the plants, on the little plant that he just
and they
planted.
go into the molecules.
They go
of it?
Like the molecule and the DNA. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
why did
that like almost seemed like that'd be an opening sequence for X-Men, an X-Men
right.
movie,
I thought the same thing. I thought, like where you see the X gene in there.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that was like the most random, out of place. Weird. Why did they do that?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it would come back into play later. Like maybe it would have something to do with the DNA in the plants or something. Maybe that was the point. But yeah, it was weird because you expect a title sequence to come up, but it doesn't. It just cuts to the Guardians. So, okay, whatever, man.
I guess if that works, that's all cool. But
also, we see a conveniently placed Dairy Queen right behind that plant where he plants it. Right.
Very nice. That was just a little landmark to let us know that it's Earth.
Yeah.
And
although
the blue spit comes out.
That's a good point. That probably was there for one thing to.
I mean, who doesn't know about Dairy Queen?
Yeah. Like, for one thing be a landmark so that we know it's the same spot later on when we see it again. But also, to let us know that it's Earth. That's true. I mean, the young CGI and Kurt Russell though, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty bloody good. It was better than anything else I've seen thus far. Better than young Tony Stark in Civil War.
Yeah. Well, was that supposed? Oh yeah. Wait, no. I mean, that was supposed to look weird though in Civil War.
Yeah, I guess. Right.
Because it's a simulation.
Right. Yeah. So. But still, yeah.
Your logic is busted.
I didn't see the edges of it really at all. I thought it was pretty seamless, pretty much that effect. So, yeah.
It's pretty good. We should talk about some cons maybe. What do we not
I think we've been talking about.
I think we've been praising it this whole time.
Yeah.
What did you not like?
What did you think of Mantis?
She was. Why? Like, I mean, I guess she was fine.
Right.
I thought she was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
You know, she served her purpose as, like, making him go to sleep, I guess. I felt like...
Right.
I was expecting some more development, some more uses of her powers, you know.
Right. I thought there would be, like, more of a
fire or something like that.
Yeah, true.
She does some weird crap, so...
See, I thought in the stuff she was... I thought the stuff that she was in was great. I really enjoyed her. I thought she was hilarious.
Her chemistry with Drax was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, you know, it was really good. You're beautiful on the inside. You're repulsive or whatever. Yeah, and he's like, fun. But that's a good thing.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, Drax was the funniest part of the movie for me again. But so I thought her bits were good, and also, I enjoyed her sort of coming into a, you know, she's very like quiet and she's, you know, restrained, but then she sort of is empowered towards the end.
She warms up, yeah. The Guardians.
But yeah, I thought, I guess I expected there to be more of a purpose for her being there.
Yeah, she's very underused.
Right. And it was funny because I remember when I saw the Q&A with James Gunn live a couple years ago when they were shooting it here, he was like, Mantis is my new favorite character. She's going to be so great. She's the new Guardian and stuff. But yeah, like, why? And
if it's a new Guardian, why not Yondu? You know?
They never really explain why Ego needs someone to help him go to sleep either, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Well, I think she tells Drax and Star-Lord why she does it, but it's something about...
Right.
Is it his mind wanders or something? I don't know.
I guess.
Very weird.
Yeah, but like...
I'm not sure.
Why was that in the film either? You know, like, usually with these things, you could say, like, why was this character in the film? And then you'd be able to say, like, oh, well, she was there to make him sleep. But... why did he need to sleep in the first place? Why was that an important plot point?
Yeah, you know? But then at the very end, she does stall him and give him time by doing that, right?
Right. Yeah.
At the very end, which that was a nice little moment with Drax, you know, helping her out, and then he immediately turns back on. He's like,
I never thought she could do it.
Yeah, I never did. That was fun.
Yeah, but like, also, and again, I enjoyed her character. I really liked it, but why was she there? Because she never really uses her whole empath power to much effect. Like, she does do the whole thing from the trailer where she tells Gamora or tells Peter you feel love for her or whatever. But we all knew that. She knew that. So that wasn't a big reveal. Yeah, I don't really know why she was in the movie.
I mean, she had the purpose. Yeah, because even then when she told Drax that the ego kills his children. Right as she does that, Nebula and Gamora find out. Right.
Right.
So that
exactly.
could have been a good point where.
Like, I guess you kind of need some exposition.
Yeah.
Given, but
know.
If she's just there for exposition, then that's a weak purpose for a character.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her in the next movie. I think she has a lot of potential. And again, was very funny. I love the bit where she goes, "Oh, the big puppy's so cute. It makes me want to die."
Can I pet it? Yeah. Can I pet it? And then Jack's just like,
"Oh, right.
Yes. Yes, you can."
Yeah. It was so good.
That was fun.
But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens to her in the third one because hopefully she'll have more purpose. Purpose, like Ego says. So, yeah.
What else do we know? I felt like the Awesome Mix Volume 2 wasn't as memorable as the first one.
Really?
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't think. I mean, I guess that's partly because I've listened to all those songs from Volume 1 countless times.
Well, and the songs on Volume 1 are all more iconic as well.
Yeah.
Like, we've all heard I Want You Back and Ain't No Mountain High Enough and
Definitely.
Come and Get Your Love and all that before.
So, which I feel like, I guess I need to listen to some of these more.
Yeah.
But it's still, right off the bat, walking out of the theater, I was like, I mean, that wasn't that memorable. I didn't.
I've been listening to the soundtrack all day.
More country folk, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Which was nice, Missouri, you know.
Again, I thought they did a good job of. It was really, really smart and inventive of them to integrate the one song about the man and the sea into the plot with the lyrics being used to articulate Ego's purpose and point. I thought that was smart, and I loved the "Come a Little Bit Closer" playing during Yondu's arrow murder spree.
I got Yondu and Rocket. They are definitely the highlights in this movie.
Yeah,
they were perfect. I loved them so much.
Man. Yeah, I think the music in this movie, it's used less as the centerpiece as in the first one. Like the centerpiece of the first one, there's a whole sequence devoted to "Come and Get Your Love" with him dancing to it.
Yeah.
There's a whole sequence devoted to "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" at the end. That's the song that plays and all that. But in this movie, it's more used as like a punchline, I think. So like when the gold, whatever the Sovereign come.
The gold people.
Kraglin, the Ravager guy, who was good, by the way. He actually had a bit more depth than you would expect for a very supporting character. He's like listening to one of the songs, one of the slower ones or whatever, and then he sees the Sovereign come, and the music amps up as we see them coming in.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then it cuts off, and then we see when Rocket and Yondu and all them are trying to drill into the core. And then the Sovereign suddenly appear, and Yondu's like, "Oh hell!" or whatever. You know? Then the music like amps up again, and it's like used as kind of a punchline, right? To certify their or to mark their coming and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's not quite the purpose.
It's not
quite
as
the
much
point as much as it was in the first one.
Yeah, it's in the first one. It's more the characters listening to that music and us hearing it. And this one, at times, it's just playing in the background, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't hit play on the Walkman or whatever.
Well, actually, though, I noticed more times that they specifically showed things, like, where the music is being integrated into the scene. Because usually with a movie, you know, music isn't being played by the character in the scene. It's just outside the movie's context. But with this... Rocket specifically notes, "Can you play some of Quill's old music?" when we escape this ship. They have speakers that Groot is hooking up at the beginning to play music while they fight. And Kraglin
he gets an iPod. He gets an iPod.
Oh, did you? Yeah, a Zune.
A Zune.
I love that. I looked that up because I had never heard of it. Those were made in like the 90s, I think. Or 2003 or something.
It can hold 300 songs.
Whoa.
100?
And he says that's what people are listening to on Earth these days.
Yes, I love it. That's perfect.
Do you think that kind of do you think they'll go back to tapes by the third movie, or will they stick with that for the third movie?
I don't know.
You know, that's because that's quite a robbing of identity. I feel, you know, I like that they had I really like that they had the guts to crush his Walkman, because that like crushed me. I saw that happening.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, the whole first Guardians, I'm like, gee whiz, I can't believe that Walkman survived all these years, you know? And you really get the sense of how special it is to him. Like, there's that whole scene in the first movie where he won't leave the prison because the alien still has his Walkman, and so he goes back to get it, right? And so you really get a sense of how important it is to him because his mother gave it to him. So when he crushes that in this movie,
you're like, no!
I'm like, no! Oh my, like, almost the level of which, like, when Yondu died, it was almost that emotional, right?
Definitely.
And so that's why when he says, you shouldn't have killed my mom and squished my Walkman, I'm just so mad by then.
Yes. That was great.
Yeah, that was really good. And yeah, I'm pretty shocked and surprised that they had the guts to give him an iPod at the end of the movie and not another tape player, right?
It was good. I liked it.
What else? The Ravager stuff I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a little bit B-plot-y, like
could have been
I felt like some of it
bit.
Was making you go like, can we just get back to the important stuff, please? But
can we
most
get
of it
back
was
to
good.
Politics, please? Yeah.
And they did a good job of introducing some new Ravagers that were funny and somewhat memorable, like the guy with the glasses who's like,
do you think we'll see any of them?
A quarter is 25. We can't even buy a pair of boots with 25 units. Yeah, Taserface was really good. Yeah, that was good. So they did a good job with.
I like how they fleshed out. What's his face? Name, the dude that gets the air at the end. I don't know his name. Yeah. I loved how they fleshed out his character.
Yeah, you really get a sense of sort of the vulnerability that he has, and this question of allegiance.
Yondu,
right.
Know.
He
portrays Yondu at first, but then he's like, no, this isn't right. You know.
Right.
So
yeah.
He was really good. Yeah.
I was very surprised by that. And then he ends up giving Nebula the ship to escape. And she says, I'm going to kill my sister and I'm going to get revenge or whatever. And he's like, oh.
I was thinking about
I was thinking about a necklace. Right.
Yeah. Really good.
So that was good. Yeah. What else? I'm trying to, there was something else I was just thinking of. I enjoyed the Ravagers. I enjoyed the scene where Rockets planted all those traps to get them and stuff. Yeah. Right?
One thing I didn't like was, I think you mentioned this in a review, is it's supposed to feel like this whole universe ending, Ego's destroying the whole thing.
Right.
But then it doesn't feel like that in the end. It feels like it was this little contained Guardians jaunt.
Right, exactly. Like the whole movie, you're going, like,
this is just a great time.
Rocket
the whole
says,
universe is at stake, right?
Rocket says something like, if people find out we're two-time galaxy savers, we can really jack up our prices. And I'm like, no one's going to find out because this is like a planet in the middle of nowhere, it seems like, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. So
and I thought it was really good and really, really well done. And obviously they did try to give it a little bit more stakes by adding in the golden army of spaceships for them to just shred through for no reason. But yeah, I feel like the fact that they're on this like empty planet does make it feel a little bit more like, oh, right, they shot this on a green screen studio, you know?
Yeah.
Like, obviously that's not the writing. It just, for some reason, you feel that a little bit. Yeah. Just by the fact that it's just them in this empty green screen planet, right?
Yeah, good point.
And it's not that the green screen was bad or anything like that. It's just that that's what you feel, because the planet is deserted. Because in the first movie, they're fighting above this entire city,
Nova.
and you're seeing the ships dive bomb onto Xandar, and the people are running, right? And the Nova Corps come to help and stuff. So you really do get a sense of the scale.
Man, this planet's gonna die if they don't do this, right?
Right.
So this one it just felt like
we do get some shots of all the planets he's planted plants on, like trying to terraform and stuff.
Yeah.
We see one of Earth.
Still, it wasn't they kind of just left it like I mean, you saw it move and this and that, and it's kind of just gone the rest of the movie.
Right.
Which I guess you could have fixed, like, the whole make it feel like the universe is at stake if you expanded on that more. Maybe show some more struggle on those planets. You know, or maybe the Guardians.
It would have been nice maybe to cut away to some characters that we know. Maybe like like maybe we cut away to John C. Reilly's character in on Xandar, and he's like trying to get his family to safety or something.
Yeah,
right? We just cut to something that we know. Did you expect the Avengers to show up when we saw that when it was happening on Earth?
No,
because I was like, oh, I bet like.
It was so sudden.
Nick Fury's gonna be watching from the alleyway or something.
Yeah, it was so sudden though. Like, in the middle of Missouri, like the Avengers ain't going to Missouri. I don't think. So,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but I did feel like maybe they should have, like, come back to it. Like, how they're gonna get. Like, that might have been a good payoff if they go to. Well, nah, I don't know about that. I mean, just some way they could have came back and showed like what that blue blob was doing, you know, just to make it feel a bit more
like people mopping it up or something.
No, just like
after the fact.
I don't know. It's just it didn't feel like the whole universe was ending. Some way to make it feel.
Well, and it wasn't. I don't think it was gruesome enough. Maybe that's the thing. Like,
exactly.
You see people running, but like, what's it gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this like soft, cushy, weird blob substance.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, not enough people died. Basically, right. You didn't see enough consequence, kind of thing. Yeah. You know?
Well, and that's again why Guardians is actually one of the deadliest movies of all time. The first movie is. I think that's been ranked. Like people added up the number of deaths in that movie, and it's like thousands upon thousands of people die because they just shred through those soldiers. Yeah. The whole Nova Corps is blown up in that one bit, right? And then they dive bomb the city and all that. So, this movie has far less of that, and we don't see what happens to the people when they get hit by this blue stuff. Like, do they get vaporized? I would have liked to have seen that, you know, but we don't. So, I mean, that is a bit of a gripe.
Sounds kind of morbid of us wishing we saw more death.
Well, but like for real, most of the most famous and popular and well-received movies have some level of horrificness to them because they really make you understand the stakes. Like if you go back and you look at different Spielberg movies or like Jurassic Park or something, there's a lot of death and it's pretty gruesome, you know?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That sticks with people, and that's why part of why those movies are classics is because people feel the stakes more when you see more people dying.
Yeah.
So
like war movies, that's partly why war movies are so big, you know?
Yeah,
that's a good point. Just something more to make us feel the more consequence of this huge universe ego. You know? I did love how he did that, though. You know, how he went to each planet planting a little plant, you know. I thought that was genius. Like you said,
that was pretty good.
It was a great Marvel villain, so.
The fact that that when he reveals that, like, he's bedded, like, women for, like, thousands of years. Yeah. Trying to spread his gene, right? And all these different alien species and stuff. It's pretty creepy.
It was, that was such a shock, you know?
It totally reminded me of Percy Jackson in that way. Have you read the Percy Jackson books?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it totally reminded me of that dynamic with
his
demigod. Father and stuff. Right. Yeah. He's got the part of the gene in him, and Poseidon and, like, the Greek gods come to Earth, and they bed all these women, right? Like, and then they just, you know, desert them.
Yeah.
You know, because they've got a higher calling or purpose or whatever.
That's a good point.
But they're also kind of jerks. And so, I thought it was very similar to that dynamic, and it was really kind of an interesting theme. Although, the fact that it was pretty hilarious that Ego has a My Story museum.
Yeah.
Although I guess it makes sense because he's like,
I can
make anything with my mind, and I've been trying to convince these children to help me for like thousands of years or something. Yeah. So I need a system to convince them. So I'm gonna make a museum, right?
That is good. That is a good point. Yeah.
But that was kind of dorky, I thought.
Yeah, and like with the whole Ego, like trying to get these kids, you know, it shows that nice moment where Peter's able to summon up the energy, right? And they play catch, and you're like, it's like, oh, it's a good father-son moment.
Well, right, and again, it's a payoff because Peter says that he never had someone to play catch with earlier in the movie.
Yeah. So. And then, but then the one later when you figure out that he's been killing all his children, it's like, oh dang, Eagle was just happy that he finally found it.
Right, he's this master manipulator.
That wasn't a father-son moment. That was just
right.
Gee whiz.
Well, and from the get-go, you can feel that he's taking advantage of Quill. Like you don't really get the sense of like, oh, I'm a loving father. I'm here to help you. I want to support you in whatever you do. He's like, Quill, you're here. This is your planet, and you're to stay with me. You know.
It's kind of like the little miner dude from Toy Story 2.
Dude, yeah, I tweeted that, okay? This movie is Toy Story 2. I'm not even kidding. Like, this movie 100% is the same as Toy Story 2. I don't think they ripped it off, but, like, it's very similar in terms of this sort of sequel idea. Basically, the main character is found by someone who has been looking for them. Yeah. It turns out they found their family in the first film, but now they found a different family that loves them more, maybe. And they realize that all these years they've had this calling, this purpose. Woody finds that he was part of this toy brand that he never knew about, and he's this famous star, and he doesn't know. And this old man with a gray beard says, you should stay with us, and this is your purpose and stuff. But in reality, he was trying to take advantage of him. Meanwhile, the friends have a B-plot where they're trying to rescue the main character, right? Buzz and Jesse are going into the store and stuff. And then at the end, they reunite and they take down the bad guy. And in Toy Story 2, he's taken away by a little first-grade girl in her backpack. But in this, he's blown up.
He's blown up. His brain is
destroyed.
Bomb blown up.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. I loved it, man. I loved it.
I knew that Ego was going to be bad from the get-go. I will say that. I didn't, for 1 second, expect him to be a good guy. Because, like, I just thought through the plot in my mind, and I was like, I can't foresee an ending where he and Peter team up. Like, I feel like he's going to be the bad guy for some reason. And also, I don't know. And plus, he's a villain in the comics, so I just, it wasn't a big surprise to me.
He's also a big hairy face in the comics.
Right. But they did do a good job of they're still, like, beyond him just being the villain, there were some other shocks, like the fact that he put the tumor in her head and stuff.
Yeah.
And him crushing the Walkman and all these things. Like, man, dude. But you really get his psychology and his motivation, too. And that was good.
He was a good villain. Good villain. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely Marvel's one of their best, in their top 3 villains or so.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, there's not a big category of good villains Marvel has, but, you know.
I'm telling you guys,
he's definitely one of them.
Dark elves. Gold mine.
He's Ant-Man, but he's bad Ant-Man.
He's bad Ant-Man.
He's Iron Man, but he's bad Iron Man. Ironmonger.
I love it.
Yeah.
Real good.
That ending.
Boy.
I loved that the movie ended on an emotional note. It ended with hope,
abrupt,
you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't Ain't No Mountain High Enough playing at the end. It was a sad, sort of melancholy guitar song, Rocket tearing up and stuff, you know?
I loved it. I loved it. Very different from the first, you know?
And again, very Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, the emotional moment, same, so it was good. I liked it.
In fact, it's very similar to Empire Strikes Back. Both Empire and this end with the main characters looking out a big window of a spaceship into space.
Into the stars.
Into the stars. And oh my gosh, that like firework light show was so great. And when you see all of the people who Yondu, you know, influenced and knew over his life, and all those Ravagers come back and stuff. Yeah. Yondu Donta, I'll see you in the stars. Right?
Yeah.
That was really good. That was really, really
I
heartfelt.
Loved... As much as I hated it, I loved that they kill Yondu. You know?
Yeah.
It was great.
Dude,
you know?
they finally killed someone, and I'm so happy about it.
He's big dead. They burned him, man.
Right. You can't bring him back.
It was like, man. I mean, Yondu grew on me so much in this movie. By the end of the movie, I didn't want him to die. I knew he was
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I love it.
It's really good.
So I didn't want him to, but I'm glad they did. You know, added that emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a consequence to all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know? Which I just loved, you know? And I like that. So.
Well, and side note about the Mary Poppins y'all bit. I loved that they made fun of the way he looked when he was holding onto his arrow coming down.
Yeah.
He looked like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Because
is he cool?
There are a lot of things in superhero movies where something looks dumb and no one points it out. Like I remember in Fant Four Stick, like, which you haven't seen, right? But
nope.
Invisible. Yeah, you've been spared. The Invisible Woman, Invisible Girl, Invisible Woman. She like she floats around. She literally flies in her force field bubble, and she she takes Reed and Ben with her, so it's like 3 bodies floating in this bubble, and they like float past, and I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever.
Could have made a little reference
like,
to Wizard
design
of Oz
wise,
or something, right?
So ridiculous, right? But in this similar thing, like it looks really dumb, but they make a point of it, you know. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. That was. I
love how he said he's like, is he cool? And he's like, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
Y'all Mary Poppins, y'all. I loved it. It was great.
So good. And on the ending as well, I enjoyed the idea of like this Ravager code, right? That, like, it's like this
it's kind of like the pirate
Boy Scouts
code, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They're the pirate. They're space pirates.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, I was gonna say that. I actually view it's very like it's a kind of a Treasure Island sort of vibe where like Peter Quill is Jim Hawkins and Yondu is like Long John Silver, and he's kind of his shifty, and allegiances are always shifting but still good guy father figure, you know, and they're space pirates. So yeah, I enjoyed that sort of dynamic. So yeah, that's mostly it. Should we talk about the end credit scenes? Yeah, of which there are 5? Dude.
There were a lot. There were a lot, for sure. But before we get to those, I loved how creative just the credit scroll was.
Oh,
like, did you notice that? Did you notice all the little I am Groot dispersed throughout?
Right, yeah.
I love that. That was so creative, you know.
And then there's the trading cards, and they're like dancing on the trading cards. Did you see the Grandmaster from Thor?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was good. And then we there's that whole Guardians Inferno song playing, which is like the 80s synthesizer Guardians theme. And then David Hasselhoff sings at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that bit about David Hasselhoff with Star-Lord and stuff, saying how, in a way, my dad was David Hasselhoff. He was super cool. That was so good. And then he says, "We are Groot" at the end. That's really good. Yeah. I did feel like the end credit scenes broke that vibe a little bit. Like, first of all, I think there were too many, and second of all, I would have liked to just live in those songs a little bit longer, but the end credit scenes just kept coming, and I'm like, can you just please
take a step back, back, you know?
Or I thought it would have been maybe nice to have the music still rolling, and we just see, like other movies do, like at the end of like Cars or something, where
Monsters Inc. I think has it, right?
Yeah, where we see the end credit scene next to the credits on the same screen, but we don't have to like break the entire thing just to show it.
Good point.
You know, but still, they were pretty funny.
Definitely. Yeah, this is by far Stan Lee's biggest cameo.
Dude, did you hear what he said? He says
vaguely,
I was a FedEx guy at one point.
Oh yes, I did catch that. Yeah,
which means
I love it.
All of his characters are the same guy. Like, obviously, they were sort of making fun of Marvel, of the fan theory that he's a Watcher, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not, but he knows the Watchers apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really, that was so good.
That was great.
Him with and the Watchers exist in this universe is a fun thing to see. And then
great
him
cameo.
just, oh, he's a Federal Express guy. No, guys, come back. Where am I gonna get my ride or whatever? That was.
I thought then it was gonna. From that scene, or from that shot, it's going to pan over to Thanos or something, you know, because it looked like Thanos would be sitting in his chair and Stanley would be talking to him. I don't know. But I thought, my impression was it was going to set up Infinity War somehow, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be bigger than it was. And then, so when it ended, I was like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's it. Oh, well. So.
There are a lot of things in this movie that that are really fascinating and interesting and, like, cosmic, and I love, like, especially with Howard the Duck, right?
Yeah.
We see him at the end of Guardians 1, and then we see him we see him both in that casino planet in 2, and then we see him in the credits of this.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fun just because I feel like there are different characters in the background of these movies that are slowly like getting their own mini stories, right? So like we're kind of seeing what they're doing in different things, cool. And that's just fun. It makes it feel, again, more like a universe where different things are happening in the background that aren't involved with the main characters, but they don't distract at all. But yeah, we see Teen Groot, right?
Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty
real
funny.
Good. Snotty Groot. That's exactly how I act.
Yeah, man, that's how all teenagers are, man. We just sit on our video games and we don't clean our rooms and we mock our parents.
There's some serious discrimination right there.
But yeah, I people are saying, and obviously I agree, that means he's going to be adult Groot in Infinity War. Which I'm very thankful for. Yes. Because, I mean, Baby Groot was fun, but I much prefer adult Groot. He's got a purpose. He feels more like a character. And he's gonna be a cool, he'll have a cool way of fighting Thanos, right? Because he's actually very powerful.
Let's see a little Hulk v Groot. I think Hulk would demolish Groot though. But then again, they could.
Would he though?
They could. Like, this is a new. It's almost like a rebirth of Groot, right? So they could totally up his powers.
Well, yeah, exactly. See, because Groot is like in the comic books, at least originally, he was like 50 feet tall or whatever, right?
He's big boy.
So yeah, I think it's conceivable that maybe to fight Thanos, he'll get huge for the next one, which could be awesome. Maybe he and Giant Man have a bit of a tussle, eh? Okay. That could be cool. A giant tree versus a giant man. We'll
probably see like what are we gonna have? Do you think we'll have Giant Ant-Man in here? You think?
Yeah.
Giant Man? Yeah. He'll be in Infinity War, Groot and Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Will we have like a big scene of all three of them going up against Thanos?
That'd be so cool.
That'd be pretty boss.
So cool.
Like that could be like.
I'm such a sucker for this dumb stuff. It's gonna be
I know. Great. Like I say Thanos takes out Groot and Ant-Man, and then he goes toe-to-toe with the Hulk. Because everyone wants to see that fight. Hulk v. Thanos.
Yeah, well, and Drax v. Thanos is obviously going to be a thing at some point.
Drax
I don't think Drax is going to be the one to kill Thanos.
No.
It's going to be one of the Avengers, or it will probably end up being all of them direct their energy beam at Thanos at the same time, right? I hope it's not that. I hope it's not that. But,
what else could they do, though? How do they kill Thanos? Is it Nebula? Is Nebula gonna do it?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, we've got lots of characters at this point that have like vendettas against Thanos, like Drax, Nebula.
Yeah.
I feel like Loki might even want to get a hit in there.
Get a hand in them.
But yeah, I hope and I would guess that it'll be something more clever than that, like, they use the time stone to wipe him from existence or something, right? Something at least a little bit more like we outsmarted you than we punched you to death.
Let's just say Howard the Duck shows up.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
And just shreks everyone.
Dude, we need a Howard the Duck Netflix series. I'm telling you. I love the effect. I love the idea. He's this like weird, freakish mutant duck, but he like beds all these women and gets drunk all the time. Like, it's perfect. It's perfection.
we should do a commentary on the original Howard the Duck movie.
Oh yeah, that'd be brilliant.
We thought about doing that one. Oh jeez,
be pretty good. We also see Adam Warlock being born.
Is it Atom or Adam?
Adam. Like Adam, the first man on Earth, eh?
I didn't know. I didn't recognize the name Adam at all, so I was like, who?
Well, see, because Adam Warlock was a member of the original Guardians, I think.
Oh, now he's pissed at all of them, right?
Right,
like,
and also
I'm coming for you.
He's gold, like the Sovereign, and he was very important in Infinity War, is what they said, or is how he was in the comics, but then they said that he's not going to be in Infinity War in this rendition, so I'm assuming that he won't be important to that storyline in this. But yeah, Guardians 3, I'm expecting what'll happen is he starts out as their foe, right? He's sent to kill them or something. Maybe he's like an assassin or whatever. And then he sides with them, probably, by the end. That's my guess.
And there's a little buddy team up,
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He also, I think, might end up being a little bit like Vision, right? Where he's sort of like, I can phase through stuff, and I can, I'm this, like, godlike existence. I don't know. Yeah. But I've been born from some sort of pod, like... Yeah. I think he might be a little bit reminiscent of Vision in that respect. He also used to have a infinity gem in his forehead, so it's pretty similar actually.
Talk about reminiscent of Vision, gee whiz.
Yeah, but so there's stuff. That. And obviously it looks like the Sovereign Golden People will be some sort of major player in 3, which is cool. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. We see Kraglin learning to use the arrow. That was fun. Maybe he'll be in the next film. He probably will. He's James Gunn's brother, so I'm going to assume that... Oh, he is? Yeah. In fact...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his name is Sean Gunn. He's James Gunn's brother, and that's cool. He also plays Rocket on set. So, like, Bradley Cooper voices Rocket, but he gets down on his knees. And yeah.
Yeah.
So that's... Nice. He plays 2 parts in the movie, which is fun.
That's cool. I like it. But
yeah, I think that's
Guardians.
That is Guardians of the Galaxy.
A good hour and a half of Guardians right there.
Man, dude, what time are we at here? What time?
Oh, you're not gonna look your... We're at 1 hour, 29 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Well, also, we spent a lot of time at the beginning just trying to figure out how to start the episode, so it's probably a little bit less than that, but hey.
I did have to get up and let my dog in at one point, so...
Oh, right. What do you rate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 out of our famous rating system out of 22, our nonsensical rating system?
Oh, here, just a sec. My dog's gonna bark. Go get him. Alright. Out of 22. Do you know I've literally started to rate everything out of 22 now? It's pretty great.
Right.
Really? My teacher in for economic questions, she's like, rate this week's supplement reading. I'm like, yeah, out of 22, I'd give it a 17, I think. Just why not?
It hasn't been in my thought process at all until we do it in each episode, and then I have to think about it. Man.
Now I know how memorable this is to you. Gee whiz. Out of 22, I'd give it... what did I give Guardians? I don't know. Maybe a 20? 19?
Yeah.
19, I think.
Yeah.
19, 18.5.
Yeah, I'd give it about
somewhere in that area, I think.
19, 20, maybe. Yeah. I think
it was
quite
real
good. As far as these blockbusters go, it's definitely one of the better MCU entries. I think it's about on par with the first Guardians, maybe better. I can't tell.
I think it's better.
I think it's definitely got some of the best character drama in the MCU and some of the most well-written characters in the MCU thus far. Civil War is a great exploration of characters, but I think this actually may do it even better. I don't know. I need to see it again. But, yeah. The only things that really deter me a little bit are the, some of the things that seem a little pointless, like Mantis and the Sovereign characters. Some of the design choices that I just really don't like the tendrils, I just don't like that for some reason. Okay. Just seems a little messy.
It's reasonable, yeah.
And then, obviously, I do feel like the pacing is a little bit off towards the middle. Yeah. It does drag a little bit, and you wonder, come on, Guardians. Okay, you need to do something on this planet. It feels a little bit purposeless for them. But that said, while they're on the planet, there are plenty of really good character scenes, of them talking. So I feel like this movie is definitely more character-driven than plot-driven. And that's unique because... Yeah, it is. Without a doubt. Almost every action movie you will see is very plot-driven. It's not character-driven. And so to say that this is more character-driven than plot-driven, and that's even a problem at all, kind of makes it not a problem. Just because it's so unique and so, a good thing to do. So, yeah, out of 22, I'd give it about a 20. That's, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Good stuff. I like it.
I'm looking forward to Volume 3. You know, James Gunn said today that Volume 3 will be the last one in the series.
Yes, I like it. End
it. Finality, please.
I love it.
I am so happy to hear that we will have like a complete trilogy of these movies.
Oh,
right?
Oh yeah, it'll be oh my gosh, it'll be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Trilogy
it'll be like
make
Star Wars.
Everything better.
Yeah. And I imagine buying the box set one day, Hitchcock.
Yeah, but we got the Guardians trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy.
The only thing that I hope, you know, well, first of all, the thing that makes me happy that it's going to be a trilogy is that, like, we've had trilogies in the past. We've had the Iron Man trilogy, the Captain America trilogy, but the problem is that the Cap
Are those
movies,
done, though?
Well, I think so, at least for now. Okay. But the problem is that, like, the Cap movies, each one is so different from the next, you know?
Yeah,
First Avenger is so different than Civil War.
Civil War is an Avenger movie.
Right.
You know?
And then Iron Man, like, the first Iron Man and Iron Man 3, so different. One is like this 70s buddy cop comedy, and one is like this, you know, serious superhero movie for the most part. So I'm happy to hear that this will hopefully have some uniformity to it, and that you'll be able to watch them back to back and not have to do anything in between.
Does it come out in between the two Infinity War movies, or will it come out after?
I think it's happening after both Infinity War movies.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, that was my only thing I was gonna say, was that I really hope that you don't have to watch Infinity War to get Volume 3, right?
Yes.
Because I want it to be a complete trilogy without any sort of anything in between, right? Like, you can reference Infinity War, but I think they should keep it pretty self-contained into their own
stick
context.
with the other two. Yeah.
Right.
Without a doubt.
So that's that, I think. I've said that's that many a time, but overall I liked it a lot. I'm going to see it again. My birthday is in 2 days, so I may go see it again on that day.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled out on your birthday.
Ah, frick. You won't be able to wish me happy birthday. I'm so disappointed. Man.
I know that. Oh, man.
All right. Pick of the week? Yeah? That's a segment that we do on this show? Do you have anything? I've got several things.
It's been like 3 freaking weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What did I watch?
You watched some stuff.
I watched Desolation of Smog. I watched 5 Armies. I watched The Two Towers. I watched Return of the King.
Yeah.
I went on a little Lord of the Rings run.
Yeah, I can tell.
Well, I guess this could kind of work. I finished reading this week Ready Player One.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was fantastic. You got to try to read it.
I really want to.
It is so good.
Yeah.
And I'm so hyped for the movie. Spielberg's directing it. You know, we have a few set videos and this and that, but it's so great. I love it so much. So yeah. I finished reading that, and that's great. Anyone out there?
Well, that's cool. I'm really hyped for the movie as well. It sounds really unique. What did I? So I have a few things. Last night I watched A Monster Calls, which I think you saw in theaters before me, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It's fine.
It's pretty good, isn't it? I like to think that it's a Guardians of the Galaxy prequel, where Peter Quill watches his mother die of cancer, and he has visions of Groot.
It's the aftermath of all of these Guardians Infinity movies, you know? Maybe this is when the Guardians have died, and since Groot's a tree, he can't really die. So maybe he's just grown old, and he's got all this wisdom.
And he's learned more vocabulary.
Yeah, and he's moved to Britain, and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty emotional, and the acting was obviously really good. The child actor was great. Felicity Jones was great. Sigourney Weaver as the grandma I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And there were some pretty shockingly, like when he destroys that whole living room, not to spoil anything, but man, that was wow. Like, again, one of those examples of something in a movie where the pure shock sticks with you, just like character deaths and stuff. But yeah, I did feel like, for those who don't know, the movie is about a character whose mother is dying of cancer, and he meets a talking tree, like in his dreams every night.
Played by Liam Neeson.
The giant tree is played by Liam Neeson, and he says that he's going to tell him 3 stories of like fairy tales that are going to help him understand life and stuff. I felt like the fairy tales that he tells are a little bit gimmicky, you know, like they're like okay, like, did you just put this in the movie because it was kind of cool or something?
Yep.
But, yeah. But overall, like, I definitely preferred the human stuff more than the stuff with the tree, I think. I thought it was pretty good. I rated it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so that was that.
You'll forget about it in a few days. I'm sorry to say.
The other thing that I've been watching recently is Doctor Who. Yeah, Drew's very annoyed because a couple times he's tried to call me and I've been watching Doctor Who and I haven't picked up. But I watched all of season 1 a few weeks ago.
Oh my god! And guys, I'm just so busy with school. Oh my! I mean, I had to delay my math test. I'm still even super busy. Like,
I procrastinate so much. I haven't watched Doctor Who in 5 days or so, man. Okay, so I've been on a. It's like taking a break from alcohol. All right, but
it's coming back.
I watched all of season 1, and then I'm halfway through season 2.
Okay.
I love it, man. Like,
I bloody bet you do.
The effects are pretty cheesy, like very cheesy at the beginning. But at the same time, they still kind of serve their purpose, and the characters are really good, and the concepts are good, and the show is so ambitious. Like, every episode they go to a different time. You know, that's a huge thing. They create these vast sets of like future satellites and stuff, and then like. They go back in time to history, like they go to medieval times, and they go to the 1700s and stuff, and it's like, man, this budget is huge. And there's just so much detail into everything, and there's new characters every episode from history and from the future, so it's like they have to, find actors for every episode and all that, so it's a big commitment. As a time travel geek, like a person who loves the logic of time travel, we've done episodes about this. It's really messed up in terms of the logic of the time travel.
Oh, is there a logic to time travel?
Well, yeah, there's not. But they do kind of explain it away by going, time isn't a straight line. It's more of a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey sort of thing, right? And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You just kind of have to accept that nothing really makes sense and the logic changes per episode. So, like, some episodes, they go back in time and they change things, right? But other episodes, they go back in time and they end up causing the things that happen. So it's like the Back to the Future versus the Prisoner of Azkaban, 2 time travel logics, right? But overall, I kind of learned to ignore it because the characters are really good, the sets are good, the action's good. It's really inventive. And I liked the first Doctor. He regenerates at the end of season 1 into David Tennant, the 10th Doctor. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So that's what I have to say about Doctor Who.
Do you want to be a doctor now? Is that your life goal? Is to become
I did buy a sonic screwdriver. So yeah.
Should they have cast Benedict Cumberbatch as a doctor?
No, he's Sherlock, man.
Yeah, but he could have been a doctor.
Well, the Doctor's a lot more whimsical than Benedict Cumberbatch can be. And he's a lot more, like, fun-loving and kind of reckless, almost.
So maybe Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's the most, like, not fun-loving person I've ever seen in my entire life. But yes.
That whole show probably doesn't have the budget to cast Tom Hardy.
Yeah, probably. Although, they've had some pretty big actors on before. They had, what's-his-face? In one of the episodes, just one episode, he's the villain. The dude who plays Benji in Mission Impossible, and who's also Simon Pegg.
Pegg, yeah.
He's in all Edgar Wright's movies and stuff. He's in one episode of this, and I'm like, man, that was a big choice to cast him in one episode, Nice. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. There's some fun dilemmas and stuff, and they do go to alternate Earths at one point, which is cool. So yeah, it's quite good, isn't it?
Doctor Who.
So, if people have made it this far in the episode, I really feel like they're real fans, Hitchcock. Don't you?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Thank you for your dedication.
Which is why I think we should advertise our TeePublic store, now open on the internet. I'm going to put some product placement here. I just opened this week a TeePublic store. The link will be in the Blockbusted description now. I'll put it in there. Where basically
right now
we're
it's
selling...
only appearing for a short time. Hurry, scroll down. T-shirts,
and stickers and phone cases and mugs
And
and baby
cases,
onesies and tank tops,
hoodies.
right? But all of them have, the Blockbusted logo on them or our faces, or there's even some ones with our catchphrases. There's a What Even Is This shirt. There's a Wing It shirt, right? So you can never change your catchphrase now, Hitchcock. It's set in stone. It's on a T-shirt. There's no way to change it.
Did I try to change it? That was a yawn. Oh my gosh. Did I try to change it 3 weeks ago?
Did you?
Never bummer.
Oh, right. You did, didn't you? Well, I'm not putting that on a T-shirt. I'm sorry. So
never bummer.
You're stuck.
Never bummer.
All right.
How about bloody singing butterflies?
Where can people find us on social media?
You know what? I decided to be screwy this week. I'm back at nerd_stream7.
Oh, no.
On everything. Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd.
You changed them all back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. For those who don't know, Hitchcock used to have the name nerd_stream7, right?
Yeah.
And then I told him he should change it, and he made it Hitchcock 007, which I thought was really cool.
And then I realized,
why
would I listen to him?
Oh, man. I'm hurt. Yeah, so he changed it back. So now the confusion is even stronger than before. And that's that.
I was feeling like I was betraying Jason Bourne. So I'm like, my man, I can't let him down.
Yeah. So well, all right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at BlockBustedPod. I tweet
Why
quite a bit.
don't you change that?
No. Why?
Yeah. Why is it BlockBustedPod?
Well, because I've linked to it in videos before. Lots of my video essays end with @BlockBustedPod, and I'm like, I don't want to make those irrelevant, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, but why isn't it Houston?
Well, because I do run this podcast called Blockbusted, so I know it doesn't look like I run this podcast called Blockbusted, but I do.
You know what's weird is when I need to tag you. So I tag Blockbusted, but in the tweet I'm talking about Blockbusted. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. It is.
You're ruining my life. Change it.
You can find me at BlockbustedPod on Twitter and Houston Productions 1 on Instagram. You can also find both of us on Letterboxd, which is fun. And
I've actually been getting a ton of followers on Letterboxd.
Oh, wow. You have?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I got a ton after I did that Letterboxd video on YouTube. Which brings me to segue the next thing I was going to say, which is, if you don't know, I have a YouTube channel called Houston Productions 1. I find it hard to
now you're advertising your
freaking
channel on this thing?
Yeah. But that is linked there as well, so you can go check that out. So,
what is this, the newspaper?
Are we going to try to do an episode next week, Hitchcock?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yum.
Yeah. Will your brain be better after getting your wisdom teeth pulled?
Ooh.
By Saturday, you will.
By Saturday, I'll be fine. Yeah.
So maybe we'll aim to do an episode weekly again. Maybe we'll try it. Yeah.
What do we talk about?
Hopefully some news will drop. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting a Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
Trailer.
That's gonna be cool. So we'll talk about that, and then also we didn't really talk about the Defenders trailer today, which was cool, but. I guess we'll talk about that next time. Yeah, what? You didn't watch it?
Nah, kiddo.
Dude, you didn't watch the Defenders trailer. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so great. Oh, it was great. Anyway, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. So,
cool.
So yeah.
it'll probably, since we did no news this week, it'll probably be a heavy news episode.
Yeah, that's true. We'll try that. All right.
Fun. Jolly time.
Say your catchphrase, Hitchcock.
I'll wing it.
Yes, it happened. All right.
I'll wing it.
What even is this, guys? We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, bye.
Bye.